The billionaire who disguised himself as a janitor in his hospital to find true love. Theme scripture, Proverbs 22. 4. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth, honor, and life. In today's world, people chase fame, but forget faith. They dress rich, but think poor. And love? Love is filtered, calculated, performed for views, not rooted in truth. But what if a billionaire took off his designer suit, put on a janitor's uniform, and walked the halls of his own hospital, not to be praised but to be ignored? He was searching for one thing money couldn't buy: genuine love. He didn't wait to be noticed. He came to see who was real. This is not just another story. It's a wake-up call to a generation that's forgotten what truly matters. The Hidden Heir, a story of humility, faith, and true love. Welcome to African Gospel Tales. Please like this video now so that you don't forget. Share to spread true love. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell to enjoy more gospel tales. At Adeleke Memorial Hospital, early morning, the sun begins to rise over the bustling city of Lagos. The streets are alive with the sounds of honking horns, vendors setting up their stalls, and the distant call to prayer. Amidst the urban symphony, the imposing structure of Adeleke Memorial Hospital stands tall, its glass facade reflecting the golden hues of dawn. A modest janitor's bus pulls up to the staff entrance. Workers in simple uniforms disembark, chatting and laughing. Among them is Neriah Adeleke, early 30s, dressed in a faded blue janitor uniform. He carries a mop and bucket, his demeanor humble yet composed. Nariah. In a world where wealth speaks louder than words, I choose silence. To find truth, one must sometimes walk among the unnoticed. Nariah enters the hospital through the staff entrance, greeting the security guard with a nod. Security guard. Morning, Nariah. Early as always. Nariah. Morning, Baba Tunda. The floors won't clean themselves. Inside, the hospital is already a hive of activity. Nurses and doctors move with purpose. Nariah navigates the corridors, his presence barely registering with the busy staff. He pauses outside a patient room, peering in to see a nurse comforting an elderly woman. A soft smile forms on his lips before he continues on his way. As he begins mopping the hallway, a group of doctors pass by, deep in conversation. They barely acknowledge Nariah, one of them even stepping over his mop without a glance. Dr. Benon. Ensure the VIP suite is prepared. Mr. Emeka is arriving this afternoon. Dr. Benon's assistant. Yes, doctor. Nariah watches them disappear down the corridor, his expression unreadable. Neriah. To be unseen is a gift. It reveals the true nature of those around you. He resumes mopping, the rhythmic swish of the mop echoing softly in the corridor. The reception area of Adeleke Memorial Hospital is sleek, clean, and filled with the quiet hum of early activity. The glass doors slide open and shut as patients and relatives come in. Behind a polished desk sits Nurse Emily, late 20s, sharp-featured, with kind eyes and an unmistakable air of compassion. She's dressed in her crisp white uniform, sorting out patient files while humming a soft melody. You are Yahweh. A small wooden cross dangles from her lanyard. Her phone buzzes. She glances down at a reminder. Prayer meeting, 6 p.m. Pastor Ifani's text. Don't grow weary of doing good, for in due season. She smiles faintly, softly. You shall reap if you faint not. Galatians 6:9. Suddenly, the faint squeak of a mop catches her attention. She looks up to see Nariah, the janitor, approaching slowly, mop in hand. His eyes are thoughtful but tired. He begins mopping the tiled floor near the front desk with practiced ease. She watches him for a moment before speaking. Emily, lightly teasing. Mr. Mopman, you've returned to your battlefield. Neriah, smiling warmly. The dust of Lagos never sleeps, Nurse Emily. Someone has to fight it. Emily, grinning. You always speak like a prophet. Neriah. Maybe just a man who's listened to a few good sermons. They share a brief chuckle. Nariah continues cleaning quietly. Emily, gently. You're always so calm, even in chaos. Neriah without looking up. Maybe peace isn't found in the absence of chaos, but in the presence of purpose. Emily is quiet for a moment. She studies him again, this time more thoughtfully. You know, sometimes I think you're not really who you say you are. Nariah pauses, looks up briefly, expression unreadable, softly. Then maybe I should mop more quietly. Emily smiles, brushing it off, though something about his words lingers in her heart. Suddenly, a young boy walks in with his mother, her face worried. The child coughs violently. Emily immediately stands and rushes to help. Ma'am, don't worry. We'll take him in immediately. As the doors to the pediatric ward swing open behind her, Nariah watches her disappear down the hall, her compassion in motion. You can learn more about a person by how they treat strangers than by what they say in church. Hospital canteen, late morning. The Ada Lake Memorial Hospital canteen is modern, with glass windows overlooking the compound garden. Staff come in and out, collecting trays of jollof rice, agusai, and yam porridge. A soft murmur of chatter fills the space. At a private corner booth, Dr. Banan sits in his neatly ironed coat with a silver name badge that reads Chief Consultant. He sips imported coffee with smug satisfaction, scrolling through his tablet. A moment later, Royal Ameka enters, a spectacle of wealth and vanity. Mid-30s, dark sunglasses indoors, loud Ankara suit, gold wristwatch, and a heavily perfumed aura. The canteen workers glance his way, some rolling their eyes. Royal Ameka. My guy, Dr. Benon, you know de ajo. Dr. Benon, grinning. When you work smart, not hard, you live fresh. They shake hands in that overly elaborate, showy way only two Lagos men in power can. Royal Ameka sits, adjusting his bracelet as he eyes a nurse walking past. Royal Ameka. She's cute, but not the one I want. Dr. Benon. Still chasing Nurse Emily? Royal Ameka. Chasing? Benon. I don't chase, I collect. She's classy, but I'll change that. Money can humble a woman. Dr. Benon. She's spiritual, oh. Always praying. Royal Ameka. All the better. Once I take her to Transcorp Hilton for the weekend, she'll forget all that church talk. They both laugh wickedly. Unseen to them, Neriah, carrying a mop bucket, enters through the side door. He quietly walks past, unnoticed, but stops just beside their table, pretending to mop as he listens to the conversation. Dr. Benon, lowering his voice. And how's your donation plan going? Royal Ameka. Just wait. I'll donate to the hospital foundation, then boom, get on the board. That Emily girl will see me everywhere. He laughs. Nariah's jaw tightens subtly. His hands grip the mop tighter. Dr. Benon leans back smugly. Once you're on the board, you'll control staff promotions too. Maybe get Emily transferred to your private office. Royal Ameka, chuckling. You sabi this thing. They clink coffee mugs. At that moment, Emily walks into the canteen, looking tired but graceful, carrying a patient file. Royal Ameka immediately straightens and waves like a peacock. Royal Ameka, loudly. Ah, my angel in scrubs. Emily gives a forced smile, clearly uncomfortable. Emily. Good morning, sir. Royal Ameka. Let me buy you lunch. Anything you want? Turkey, goat meat, even shrimp from Dubai. Emily, gently. No thank you, sir. I'm fasting. Royal Ameka frowns. Again? She walks away. Nariah watches her go, admiration in his eyes. Then he glances back at the table, where Royal Ameka is now muttering angrily. Royal Ameka. She'd a form holy holy. She'll come around. They always do. Benon laughs. Nariah resumes mopping, but his mind is racing, then says to himself, sometimes power is loud and filthy, but the strongest man is the one who knows when to be still and wait. Hospital courtyard garden. It's late afternoon. The sun filters softly through the fronds of palm trees in a quiet courtyard within Ada Lake Memorial Hospital. A stone bench sits beneath a flowering bougainvillea. This is where few staff come. A peaceful, hidden corner surrounded by tall buildings and occasional birdsong. Emily sits on the bench with her Bible open on her lap, a bottle of water by her side. Her hair is tied back, her uniform slightly creased from a long shift. Her expression is tired but content. She hums a quiet worship tune, whispers while flipping to Psalms. Though my heart and flesh may fail, God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. She closes her eyes, breathing in deeply. Footsteps approach quietly. It's Neriah, now without his mop, carrying a cloth and bucket. He pauses a few feet away when he notices her, unsure whether to speak or leave. Emily opens her eyes and sees him. A small smile forms on her lips. You again? Nariah, smiling shyly. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb your devotion. Emily, it's okay. You're not disturbing. You always walk like someone who doesn't want to take up space. Nariah chuckles softly. I've learned that if you walk softly, people show their real footsteps. Emily tilts her head, intrigued. You speak like someone who's been through a lot. Nariah, maybe I have, or maybe I've just seen the difference between noise and meaning. There's a pause. Emily studies him, truly seeing him for the first time. Emily, you're not like the others. Nariah, the others? Emily, the ones who look down on people with smaller titles, or ignore patients who can't pay. You treat everyone like they matter. He lowers his gaze humbly. Nariah, maybe it's because I've been on both sides of the bed, watching and needing to be watched over. Emily nods slowly, feeling the depth of his words. Then she reaches into her bag and pulls out a wrapped meat pie, offering it. Have you eaten today? Nariah, surprised. You're offering me your food? Emily, you've been on your feet all day. And besides, fasting without kindness is starvation. He takes it gently and says softly, Thank you. That's the kindest thing anyone's done for me in a while. They sit in companionable silence. Birds chirp nearby. The quiet hum of distant ambulance sirens echoes faintly through the city. Something deep and invisible begins to form between them. Not romance yet, but the foundation of trust. Nariah, after a long pause, do you believe God can still surprise people? Emily, smiling, looking at the sky. All the time. That's what makes him God. That night at Nariah's apartment, a modest two-bedroom apartment in a quiet part of Ikeya, Lagos. Clean, simple, but well-maintained. No signs of wealth, just a small wooden cross above the door, a few African art pieces, a worn Bible on the shelf, and a mat for prayer. The sound of keys turning, the front door creaks open. Nariah enters, wiping sweat from his forehead. He places his mop bucket and cleaning supplies in the corner of a small utility closet. Inside the kitchen, a man stirs a pot of egusi soup. It's Michael, mid-30s, stocky and sharp-eyed, wearing joggers and a vest. He turns with a grin. Oga Janitor. Welcome, sir. The King of Mop Kingdom returns. Nariah chuckles, kicking off his dusty shoes and grabbing a glass of water. You man, one day you'll call me that in public. Michael, mocking seriousness. God forbid. They will say I'm mad. Me? Calling the founder and sole owner of Adelac Memorial Hospital Oga? No, I will just say, yes, sir, cleaner. They laugh. Nariah drops onto the couch with a sigh of relief. I spoke with her again today. Michael. Nurse Emily? Nariah nods. She gave me her lunch. Conclusion. So far, we've seen a young billionaire walk in secret among the people he should rule. We've watched him mop floors instead of signing checks. We've seen how he searched. Not for fame, not for followers, but for a heart that shines without knowing it's being watched. And then, a moment, a simple lunch, a small gesture, not from a queen with a crown, but from a nurse with compassion. It may seem small to the world, but to Nariah, it meant everything. Lesson from part 1. In life, God often hides greatness in humility. Many are chasing loud miracles, yet ignoring the quiet signs of favor. Emily didn't know she was feeding a king. She only saw someone in need. That's the kind of heart heaven trusts. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Hebrews 13. Never underestimate the power of kindness. You don't know who's watching, and more importantly, you don't know who sent them. But that's just the beginning. In part 2 of The Hidden Heir, secrets will be exposed, hearts will be tested, and the truth will walk boldly into the light. Will Emily stand firm when the storm comes? Will Neriah stay hidden or step into the name he was born with? Don't miss the next part. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to African Gospel Tales. Follow us and share this message with someone who needs a reminder. God is still writing quiet stories with loud endings.